The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Welcome back, my dear children. So how are you doing? Did you watch all the videos of Paka celebrations? Yes, you must watch that. All the efforts from the teachers' side, all the skits and dramas, you must watch, and there is a message in those dramas too. Okay? So don't forget to watch all those videos which are posted in Disney Guru. Last week we were discussing about a new chapter, that is for shape and strength. We were discussing about the skeletal system in living beings as well as human beings, isn't it? In other living beings, we saw two types of skeletal system. One is exoskeletal system and the other one is endoskeletal system. What is exo? The skeletal system is found outside the body, and endo is the system that is the skeleton is found inside the body. And we saw two exceptions also. They were crocodile and turtle. They are both endo as well as exoskeletal animals. Okay. So after that we discussed some important bones of human body. The first one was skull, rib cage, bones in hands, bones in legs as well as vertebral column. Isn't it? We had a tabular column, and I hope you have copied that tabular column in the file. Now we will move to the postures. What do you mean by postures? How you stand. Do you stand erect or with a hunch in your back? How you sit, how you lie down. All these postures are very, very significant for forming your personality or your looks. Okay. So these postures, how should they be? We have a picture in your textbook. We'll look into that. Look at the picture, children. See, look at the first posture. It shows what posture you should maintain while writing something. The first picture shows a little hunch on your back, whereas the second posture is exactly the way you should sit and write. The third one shows you shouldn't do, what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't lie down and write. And the next row, you can see how you should watch a laptop or system. It can be all the three ways. See, all the three is correct. You should sit erect. The second one also shows that you are sitting erect, and the third one shows you are standing, whereas your posture is correct, very erect, not a hunch on your back. In the third row, you can see how you should sit. So look at the way the first picture is sitting. Look at the way how the first toy is sitting in that picture. Yes, there is a hunch on the back, so it is wrong. The second one is right, the way you should sit. The vertebral column should be erect. The third one shows how you should pick something from the ground. Look, you should sit down, fold your knees and then pick the things. The next picture shows how you should not pick things from the ground, because the entire weight is going to your vertebral column, which will cause back pain. And the third picture also, or the last picture, it is also correct. The way you should lift things from the ground. So these postures are very important, children, isn't it? They are the one who make you stand erect or sit erect. Or else what happens? The wrong posture might affect your vertebral column, and it may lead to some other diseases. It will first cause back pain, and later on it will it will cause acute pain and it will lead to some other diseases. Okay, so the postures are very important. How you sit, how you lie down, how you maintain your posture while writing, all these are very important. Okay, children, we have studied about bones, isn't it? Some very important bones. A newborn baby has got 300 bones. While giving birth, a child has 300 bones. Out of this, some of the bones will fuse together and totally an adult will have 206 bones. Where are these 206 bones? We will see. See, there is a tabular column in your textbook. The skull has 22 bones, ribs 24, each leg has got 30 bones, your waist has 2 bones, the vertebral column, as I have mentioned earlier, it has 33 bones, in each hand there are 32 bones and your chest bone is 1. Okay? Where else do you see bones? See, there are bones on your nose, in your ears, etc., isn't it? These we don't call as bones because they are very soft bones. Hence, we call them as cartilages. Yes, cartilages. So, where will you seek? For whom cartilages will be more? A newborn child will be having more of cartilages. What are cartilages? Soft bones. Where do you find them? On your nose area and your ear. All these will be having soft bones which we call as cartilages. Children, now we have studied about bones. Now, how are these bones connected together? For example, your hand is having a bone. Is this a single piece of bone? How can you find that out? We will do one small activity. Take a long stick, okay, and tie it with your hand with a rope, with the help of a rope. The hand will stand erect. Now, with this hand, can you do anything? This hand is going to be very erect because it has been tied with a stick. So, if it is a single piece of bone, your hands will not be able to move. So, how are these bones connected? Is it a single bone or is it a connection of 2 bones? Yes, these bones are connected together through joints. Now, we are going to study about joints. So, all the bones that exist in a human body is not a single piece of bone. They are all bones of different shapes and sizes which are joined together or connected together through joints. Now, we are going to study about 3 important joints. What are they? See, it is given in your picture: ball and socket joint, hinge joint and pivot joint. So, these are the 3 important joints. Where do you find these joints? Yes, we can look into the textbook. The ball and socket joint is found in your shoulder. It is a shoulder joint. It can be also seen in the hip part. What are the characteristics? They are freely movable. The ball of one bone rotates in the socket of other bone. That is, this is the ball and this is the socket. So, it rotates like this. Okay. So, that is why we call it as ball and socket joint. So, such type of bones can be seen in the shoulder part as well as hip part. So, these are the characteristics. The ball of one bone rotates in the socket of the other bone. ഒരു ബോണിൻ്റെ തലപ്പ് ഭാഗം ബോൾ പോലെ ഉണ്ടാവും, മറ്റേ ബോണിൻ്റെ തലപ്പ് ഭാഗം സോക്കറ്റ് പോലെയായിരിക്കും. ഈ ബോണിൻ്റെ ബോളും മറ്റേ ബോണിൻ്റെ സോക്കറ്റും കൂടി ഒരുമിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഒരു ജോയിൻറ്റ് ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത്. സച്ച് എ ജോയിൻറ്റ് വി കോൾ ഇറ്റ് ആസ് ball and socket joint. Where do you see them? Shoulder and hip area. So, what is the next joint? Hinge joint. So, where do you see that hinge joint? Elbow, knees, okay. There you will see hinge joint. Like a hinge. What is a hinge? നമ്മുടെ വാതിലിൻ്റെ ഇടയിലൊക്കെ കാണും, വികാരി എന്ന് പറയും അല്ലേ. സോ ആ വാതിലും ആ കട്ട്ലയും കൂടി കൂട്ടിപ്പിടുത്തുന്ന ഒരു സാധനത്തിനെയാണ് വി കോൾ ഇറ്റ് ആസ് ഹിഞ്ചസ്. So, just like that, like a hinge can be moved only in one direction. Hinges ഒരു ഡയറക്ഷനിലേ പോകുള്ളൂ അല്ലേ. ഈ വാതിൽ ഒരു ഭാഗത്തേക്കല്ലേ, ഒരു ഡയറക്ഷനിലേ തുറക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. Just like that, hinges can move only in one direction. What is the third joint? Pivot joint. So, where is pivot joint seen? Only in one area, that is neck area, on the back of the neck. part where the skull and the anterior part of the vertebral column joins. ഇപ്പോൾ vertebral column സ്കള്ളും കൂടി join ചെയ്യുന്ന ആ ഭാഗത്തിനെ we call it as pivot joint. There is a joint called pivot joint. What is the characteristics? A bone turns in the opposite direction at an axis in the same plane. So ഇതാണ് pivot joint എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമുക്ക് ഒരു ആക്സിസിൽ ഒരു പ്ലെയിനിൽ മാത്രം ഇങ്ങനെ റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, isn't it? So about an axis it can turn up. Okay, so this joint helps to move the head in a particular plane with the help of an axis. Okay, so we have studied about 3 joints. Which are they? The ball and socket joint, the hinge joint and the pivot joint. Ball and socket joints are seen in shoulder and hip area. Hinges you can see in knee and ankles, and pivot is seen in the neck portion, okay, where the skull and the vertebral column joins. So these 3 joints are very important. See, actually you can construct the models of these joints using some articles. What are they? Children, hinge joint can be constructed using hinges. See, look at the picture. With the help of hinges you can construct a hinge joint, but it can move only in one direction. Ball and socket joint, you can use an ice cream ball, just like as seen in the picture. Using the ice cream ball and a small stick you can construct a ball and socket joint. And pivot joint, how do you do that? The movement of lids of certain powder tins, lotions. So powder tin കാണുമ്പോൾ അറിയാം നമുക്കിങ്ങനെ ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ആക്സിസിൽ അത് തിരിയും അല്ലേ. Children, we have a tabular column in your textbook in page number 130. Take your pencil, hold a pencil in your hand, we are going to write it down as I say. Okay, so body part and movement characteristics. This tabular column is in page 130. Okay, palm can be moved up and down, right? So movement is up and down. Elbow can be, what is elbow? See, it can be moved only in one direction. So write down, can be moved only in one direction. Knee also can be moved only in one direction. Neck to left and right. You can write down neck. The neck portion, body part can be moved to both directions, whereas wrist can be moved in all directions, isn't it? This is wrist, so you can move all directions. So you can write can move in all directions. So I'll repeat once again. Elbow can be moved only in one direction. Knee can be moved only in one direction. Neck to both sides and wrist to all directions. Based on that we have questions. Which of these can be moved only in one direction? Elbow, knee, they can be moved only in one direction. Which can be moved in both directions? Neck. So both directions you can move. Which part can be moved in many directions? Which is that? Wrist. So note it down in the textbook itself. So we have a question here in page 132. What would have been our difficulties if there were no joints in the human body? Children, if there were no joints in human body, what were the difficulties we will be facing? We can't move. Our body will not be flexible, right? We can't lift things. So you can note down, we can't move from one direction to another direction. You cannot lift your leg. You have to drag your legs because this is a connection of joints, isn't it? This is not a single bone. You have a connection in between which we call as joints. So without joints you cannot move, you cannot hold things, isn't it? So you can write all that. How can we perform the following action if the neck bones are immovable? So your neck bones are immovable. Can you walk? Can you read things? So you have to hold it like this. It will look awkward, right? Look at the person sitting behind you. No. All these activities are not possible if your neck can't move. Okay, children? Now we will see what is a fracture. So in your life, at least once you would have faced this bone fracture, right? You would fall down, you will get a fracture in your hand or leg or somewhere. Every child gets that at least once in your lifetime. How does this fracture happen? We have a definition in your textbook, we'll see that. Strong impact can cause the breaking of bones or appearance of fissures. Fissures means cracks in the bones. Breaking of bones is called fracture. Sometimes the position of the bones is changed. This is called dislocation. So, strong force from outside when you fall or when something hard hits on you. So, this can cause fracture. What is fracture? Fracture is either breaking of bones or fissures. Fissures means small cracks, and it can also be dislocation. What is dislocation? The position of the bone will be changed. If it is ball and socket joint, the ball would have come out of the socket. So, if the position is changed, we call it as dislocation. All these comes under bone fracture. So, what are the symptoms if there is a bone fracture? How will you know if there is a fracture or not? The first thing is you will get an swelling. Immediately swelling will be there. Terrible pain will be there, isn't it? Difficulty in moving the injured part. You will find it very difficult to move that particular injured part. A slight bending will be there. Whichever area has been fractured, whichever part of your body is fractured, that area will have a slight bend, and structural change will be there. What is structural change? When you compare it with the other part of the body, there will be structural change. What are the symptoms? The first one is swelling will be there, terrible pain will be there, you cannot move that particular part, and slight bending will be there, and structural changes also will be there. So, these are the symptoms which proves that, which makes it definite that you have a bone fracture. Okay? So, when a bone is fractured, what should you do? What is the first aid you can do? Nothing, children. There is no first aid for bone fracture. You just immediately reach the hospital. The only thing you can do is tie a splint. What is splint? Yes, the splint is actually, it can be metal, plastic, or it can be a scale also. With the help of the scale, you should tie the body part. If this part is fractured, you have to tie a scale and then splint, tie it with a string or something, and it should be erect so that the body part, the particular part doesn't move at all. There should be completely no movement. So, splint is a support, strong support made of wood, plastic or metal. Why is it that required? Because it shows that this splint helps to keep the fractured part immovable. It should not be moved at all. Okay? So, tying the broken part using a splint helps to block its movement. So, the movement should be blocked. If there is heavy movement, what happens? The intensity of the fracture deepens. It becomes more acute. Okay? Actually, we should not do any sort of first aids. Balm apply cheyidittu, you urinju udukkalu, that all should never be done. The only thing you can do is provide some water, tie it with a splint, and then immediately rush to hospital. The doctors will take care of the rest of the things. Okay? So, children, I have completed the chapter here. We will quickly move to the textual questions. Okay? What is the first question? List the characteristics of exoskeleton and endoskeleton. This you can write in the file. Okay, exoskeleton, what are the characteristics? Yes, the skeleton is seen outside the body. There can be remnants like nail, hooves, claws, scales of fish. All these are exoskeleton also helps to protect from the attack of enemies. What is endoskeleton? The skeleton is seen inside the body. These endoskeleton animals, they have joints also. Okay, joints are seen there. And you can write examples also. Endoskeleton, what are the examples? Cow, sheep, goat, etc. Exoskeleton also you can mention some examples like what are exoskeleton animals? Snail, crab, prawn, turtle, all that you can write. So, concept map is there. Human skeleton joints. What are the three joints? Hinge joint, ball and socket joint and pivot joint. Hinge joint is seen in knee and elbows. Ball and socket joint you can see in shoulder as well as hip, and the next joint is pivot joint, which is seen in the neck portion. So, concept map and this tabular column, first and second question must be written in your file. Okay children, more questions will be sent through WhatsApp. Okay, so you can copy that also to the file. So, our chapter gets concluded here. So, we have completed all the chapters in science for this year. Hope you have understood all the topics. We will have revision also. So, write the notes for this particular chapter and send it to me as early as possible. If any doubt persists, you can always call me and clear it. Okay? Bye children. Take care.